Welcome to the Real Estate Real Success Spotlight Series. Today, I'm thrilled to feature Kristie Cavanagh from Century 21 Northern Choice in Kenora, Ontario. A top-performing agent, Kristie has earned the prestigious Double CENTURION Award for the past 3 years, securing a spot among the top 1% and top 100 agents in 2024, and was also named Century 21 Canada's Sales Associate of the Year in 2024. She's here to talk to us about her journey, her strategies, and her insights into building a long-term successful career in real estate. Thanks for being with us, Kristie.
Thanks for having me, Lee. I'm excited.
Yeah, so let's start from the very beginning. How did you get started in real estate?
Oh, I love this question. So ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to be a realtor. I don't know why. I just thought it was the coolest job ever. A family friend was a realtor like in a different city, and I just thought he was the coolest and had the coolest job. And growing up, I always watched like HGTV and I watched all the real estate shows. And I was just like fascinated with the idea. But I knew after high school, I was like, I should go get a degree and then pursue my career into that. So yeah, I got my real estate license at 23. So I've been doing it now
Wow.
12 and a
You
half
were young. What was it like
years.
starting a career at that age? Did you find people still took you seriously? Did you find that you just had some life experience you had to get?
Yeah, like I honestly think that people did not take me seriously at all. Even now, people still ask me what my age is or how long I've been doing it for. So I still feel like I look younger and like don't have like a lot of people don't think that I have been doing this for as long as I have been. So definitely always when you're start that young, I feel like you really have to like prove yourself. And I had a lot of strong guidance from my brokerage. And even though, like, when you first start and people are like, why would I buy a house from someone who's 23? I was like, well, I'm 23. I'm new in the business. However, I'm part of like a Century 21 brand in Kenora, and there's many agents in my office have been doing it for 30 plus years. So it was really nice to have that as kind of, oh, like not a fallback plan, but just like even being able to tell people, like, yeah, I'm fresh, I'm new, I got some really good ideas, but there's also agents in my office that have a ton of experience that I'm constantly learning from and that I can, use to reach back out to and get good advice too.
So you've had the coaching from these experienced agents coming along. Did you find that they were willing to take you under their arm and, help you along?
Yeah, so when I did my real estate course, I did everything on my own and then I went to go interview at Century 21. And when I met with Bill and Michelle Scribala, who I kind of knew through their daughters because they're my age, and we were friends like in high school, I walked in there and they kind of asked me, hey, are you going to any other brokerages? Are you interviewing anywhere else? And I was like, nope, like this is it. Like I want to be a Century 21 realtor. And there was a lot of people who were at that brokerage at the time that I really looked up to. And I just knew that that would be a good fit for me compared to some of the other brokerages in town at the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you've had great success, like through your own hard work, but
Yeah.
you have been a double centurion the last 3 years, like amazing, particularly in some of the smaller markets. Like that is quite an accomplishment. What do those milestones mean to you? And what drives you to keep pushing forward?
Honestly, it's like a lot of support. Like a lot of my friends, like they know how serious I am about work and that it does come first. But ultimately, like my clients are just so awesome. So I always have like a hard time saying no to anyone because like I want to work with other people and I want to like meet new people and just like the selling experience and like meeting sellers, meeting buyers and walking them through the whole process and stuff is just so rewarding. I would say like that's one of the biggest drivers towards that. Like getting double centurion like for the past 3 years, like that's been like amazing. And it's good because it kind of just shows like the sales achievement of just working with people and how much hard work you put into things.
So
Mhm.
what kind of marketing do you do? Is your business mostly referrals? How do you find clients?
So A lot of my business comes from either repeat business, so other like sellers that I've sold houses to a long time ago. But a lot of it's referrals from past clients. So I would say that's my number one source of business and source of leads is from past clients who refer me to their family, to their friends, to coworkers. Yeah, so it's kind of a nice compliment because if I really enjoyed working with that person and now they're referring me to their coworker or their family or their friends who are now relocating to Kenora, like now I'm like, okay, you get to see your old clients again, which is awesome because they usually tag along. But yeah, like it's just kind of the biggest compliment you can get as a referral.
Do you do community events, social media? Do you all do a lot of that, or are you mainly referrals and repeat?
I do a ton of social media marketing. So part of like my listing presentation is I do talk about like the brokerage and the services that they provide and the marketing that they also provide. But I do a ton of my own social media as well. And the reason why I do a ton is I want my clients to get the best exposure possible. But when I'm doing it on my own platforms, I can really like measure where the success is and where people are clicking or viewing, and then we can really pool resources or advertising into that platform. So I like it because I can show the result, I can monitor it, I can adjust it, I can see what's working, what's not working. And then, of course, just getting it into so many people's different eyes, right? So if they're following my accounts, then that's great. If they're following the brokerage's accounts, then that's even better. But people sharing and yeah, social media is definitely like one of our biggest marketing tools now as realtors.
Where do you go for analytics? Like, what are the platforms? Do you use Back at You? Do you use something else? How do you get all this feedback to know where to be putting your time and money?
So, face like Meta, as they say now, but I'm gonna call it Facebook because I'm old. But through Facebook and Instagram, having those like analytics through there, those are huge, but also Google Analytics, like that's a big one too. So being able to like link your website back to that and then getting that data, that's huge.
You do a lot of community service and community events and
Mhm.
support your local community. Tell me about the work you do with the initiatives there.
Yeah, so in Kenora, Ontario, so we are such a small community, so we only have 16,000 people. So if there's a community event that we can help out, sponsor, volunteer our time at, we definitely try to do that, like as a brokerage and as an individual. Like most recently, there was just like a family fun day on Rabbit Lake, sponsored the live music for that. So that's a huge thing for me is just anything that you can do with like kids and sports, right? So getting them outside, getting them involved in activities and just being able to like embrace the outdoors in the middle of winter is huge too, obviously, but anything outdoors. I was on like the board of directors for Kenora Bass International for over 10 years. And I mean, I met so many great people through that. Tons of hard work. It was a big commitment, but through that, it was really good. I met so many good people, had a lot of really good friendships from that, and also met a lot of clients too. Previous to that, like Century 21 did an event on the Harborfront, and it was a fundraiser for the Lake of the Woods Hospital Foundation, and it was called Booby Nights. And so it was a big social, big party, a live band, everything like that under the Whitecap Pavilion in Kenora. And that was a huge success. We've also done lots of stuff for like within our brokerage for the nutritional and weekends program. So that's through the schools in Kenora. And what it is providing food to families who need it and students who need to take home food on the weekends or in the evenings or anything like that, where maybe their family can't financially afford that. And obviously, like every kid deserves to eat, right? So a lot of our local schools in Kenora do a great job with breakfast programs or lunch programs or providing fruit and vegetables and all that stuff. And I think that's like huge. And it's a really nice initiative. So I'm
It's
happy that
so
Century
important.
does that. Yeah, I know. And like that's just a basic human necessity. And it
Yeah.
should never be something that anyone's like ever embarrassed about. And I think it's like huge that people can go, like these kids get to go home with a bag of food for the weekend. So
Yeah, I think that's important too.
yeah.
Shifting gears a little bit, what advice would you give to new realtors?
My biggest advice I think I would give to new realtors is just go into it. Like just deep dive into it, commit fully. Like a lot of agents when they first start, they have like a part-time job somewhere. And I think that's great. Like if it's something you financially can't just shut off, then that's good. But I mean, definitely prioritize your time in the industry. Go to the office, meet with other agents, ask to tag along to go to like especially like CMAs, like doing comparative market analysis on houses, going and get your face in front of as many people as possible, whether you're joining like an organization to meet new people, hosting like a buyer event, anything like that. Just get as much experience as you can. So have conversations with other realtors, lawyers, like industry professionals, whether it's a mortgage specialist, anything, so that you can really become an expert when you have a client. And I would definitely hone in on that as a new agent, be like, I have all the time in the world. Like you are my client or my 3 clients or whatever it is that you're starting off with, and really service those people. Ask for referrals, ask for reviews, and really build your book of business, I would say. So reach out to like everyone you know and let them know that you're a realtor now. Like any way that you can possibly like get your name out there, do it. And then I think like as a huge thing too is like keep track of everyone. So whether you like start, especially early in your career, make a list of potential buyers, potential sellers, and keep track of them and follow up with them as much as you can. And then just really do that, because I feel like I have done that for a while now. But I mean, if I had all the contacts that I initially started with too, and I had better track of them, then I could be doing a better job at kind of that like pointed touch marketing too.
I think that's a really good way to phrase it. And like often we call it like nurture your sphere, which sounds kind of
Yeah.
creepy, but it's just keep in touch with people you know. Yeah.
And that's the thing too, like you can do it without being like pushy or annoying. Like I'm not saying send them a text message every 5 minutes or an email every other time, but just like, those little points of contact, like happy birthday. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
or hey, I saw you got a puppy, like looks adorable. Just something like a little point of contact. But again, just let everyone know that you're a realtor. Like that's a big one.
Yep. Yep. What has conference and showing up to Century 21 events been for your business?
I honestly like love going to conference. I love like all the Century 21 events. I would say the friendships and relationships that I've built with other industry professionals by going to these conference events have been a huge influence on my life. So when I first went to a Century 21 conference in Vancouver, I knew no one other than the people outside my brokerage. And I walked away from there with like a handful of new connections and new friends and like long lasting like friendships now. It's always something I look forward to seeing everyone like again once a year. Yeah, even like at awards in Winnipeg. Just really nice to like see those people and like just the influence that they've had. Like you get to hear from so many different people and like how they started, what they kind of do, and like learn from their past experiences, good or bad, and then carry on from there too. And I think that's another thing to really highlight too, is like you really do learn from like not only the good advice, but also the like other advice, where other people, like we all have things that have happened, right? And real estate transactions, and how do you grow from that? So
Mhm. Definitely. Are you coming to Vancouver?
yeah, of
Good.
course. I'll be there.
Excellent. We look
Yeah.
forward to having you. But what's the market like where
Yeah.
you are right now? Because we're hearing all sorts of different things.
Yeah, so the market in Kenora, it is always pretty consistent. So ever since I started selling real estate over 12 years ago, we have always had a lack of housing. So there's a huge demand for housing in the area. It is insanely hard to find rentals in Kenora. So usually if someone's coming here for employment, they usually end up purchasing a home because it's more cost effective, and also just because you can't find a rental. But I mean, like we have a few different elements to Kenora. So we have a population of 16,000 people. It does double in the summertime with like tourism. So we're on Lake of the Woods, and then there's also lots of other beautiful lakes like Black Sturgeon, Winnipeg River. lots and lots of lakes in the area. And so we have like obviously our housing, our residential market, but we also have a really big recreational market in the area too. So tons of cottage properties that come up, whether they're road access or boat access too. So we
Do you
kind
do
of,
a lot of that? Are you like, do you have a boat and you're like, I will show you an open house?
yeah, we
on
have
a
like
boat.
boats and sea-doos and yeah, so being able to like show properties on the water, whether they're road access or you have to take a boat and take your clients out there and meet them there, that's also really nice sometimes too. But yeah, like we live in a pretty cool area and a really cool like body of water. So there's lots of different things to know, lots of different things to see. We do a lot of stuff that's like, say, in town on city sewer and water, and then in the lake, you're dealing with like lake drawn water and septic fields and holding tank. And so you kind of need to know a bunch of things. So
Yeah, you must be really good at home maintenance and like knowing what needs to be done.
yeah, so I mean, like we don't show condos or anything like that. We don't show up in high heels or anything super glam and fabulous. Like a lot of our terrain is quite rocky in the area. So you got to wear the appropriate footwear and yeah, it's fun.
That sounds fun. Excellent. Well,
Happy.
thank you very much.